So what are you afraid of? Those feelings are made up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up.
4 more kilometers. Oh, there we go! They touch!
This time, like the last time, I'm moving so fast, I'm ready to ride.
Frankie! Down to the inside of Hoosie's off!
Passenger throws the block, and he will keep him behind him.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Turning the track up. I'll never go back down. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
For the first time ever, the V8 supercars will roar at the Belle circuit on the streets of Detroit. This is the LeBLANC Australian Online Supercar Championship Round 2. And for the first time, we are hitting the streets in Belle. Detroit is the home for round number 2. And it is going to be an action-packed race. Concrete walls, a big canyon of concrete. And we head there for 39 laps of racing. Hello, everybody. My name is Jay Kennedy. Alongside me, I've been surrounded by Kiwis tonight. We've got Cameron Dance and Scott Fonty Fountain. Fonty, firstly, after last week, what a race we had. We are looking forward to an action-packed night once again.
Yes, we certainly are, Jay. Welcome, viewers, to round 2 of the Australian Online Supercar Championship. It's going to be a great event. We saw last week, well, it was spectacular. We certainly didn't expect to see the car which win the event, did we, Jay, in the end? It was very exciting, and I'm certainly looking forward to seeing how Belle goes today. Had a lot of controversy. It's a very difficult track, lots of close concrete walls, and yeah, it's going to be a great short sprint race today.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, and the track has been a big talking point for a lot of people. Cam, the track is one difficult one. It's an entertaining one, but you can't breathe for a second, can you?
Absolutely not. A street circuit's a completely different animal to any sort of circuit we'll ever go to on the calendar, and it's a street circuit. You've got concrete walls on every single corner. You can't afford to make a mistake, and you don't get a single breath apart from the back straight. So you've got to be on your game the entire lap and entire race. So we'll see what happens. There's bound to be at least one safety car, if not possibly two. We'll have to see what happens, but I'm sure everybody is competent enough that we can get around this race for the most part without too many incidents.
It's been 90 drivers try and qualify to get into this event. Top 50 will be in on the grid when the session is up in a few moments. But to get us warmed up, let's take a bit of history and a bit of a lap around this amazing street circuit with the the hot lap this week from Josh Rogers. So enjoy this lap. We'll be back in just a couple of moments.
Welcome to round 2 of the AOSC, this week coming to you from Belle Island. A brand new track to iRacing and a concrete line canyon which should give plenty of drivers things to worry about as they try to keep their cars off the walls and under the 25 incident limit. Having a look at some of the track facts, 39 laps around this 3.78 kilometre 14 turn track. We've got fuel capacity limited at 84 litres and a fuel burn of about 3.5 litres per lap. That gives people a pit window of roughly lap 15, but you can probably come in a couple earlier than that, through to about lap 24, but with safety cars that'll probably get extended out as well. Now, we're lucky enough today to have TTL Driver Academy driver Josh Rogers take us around the track. He's in the AOSC Ford today, so let's hand it over to Josh as he talks us around the track.
Hey guys, and welcome to this week's AOSC Hot Lap video. Tricky track. Lots of traction zones, lots of bumps as well, which makes things interesting, especially in this supercar with 650 horsepower and quite small tyres. Down the front straight, crossing the start-finish line at roughly 220 kilometers an hour, down to 4th gear for turn 1, or sometimes even 3rd, trying to hug it tight through turn 1 to make sure you can set up your run off turn 2. This 2nd straight here, massive passing opportunity into turn 3. Again, another tricky braking zone, so you've got to make sure you get your braking and your downshifts down pat. Use a bit of the inside curb, make sure you can launch it over and get the power down nice and gently. Up to 3rd gear, make sure to turn in. Use a little bit of the curb on the entrance to turn 5, get the power down. Similar again, but trying to miss this curb, run it right out to the fence, exit to turn 6. Onto this back straight, you want to set up the best run possible. A lot of bumps, very tricky to get the power down. Seems like a general conception about this track with these bumps. Then this back straight, probably the fastest straight on the track. Again, down to 2nd gear, wanting to just nick this curb just ever so slightly, otherwise it affects your power down too much. And then this tight section, very, very bumpy, probably the bumpiest section of the track. Probably the hardest part, and also one of the sections where there's a couple of passing zones as well, especially into this hairpin down here. 2nd gear, big bump on the apex you've got to worry about, get the power down. Again, finally finishing off the lap, you want to throw it in here nice and hard, but make sure not too hard. There's that big wall on the outside that's sure to claim some cars over the weekend. But then short shift again to 4th, big slide onto the front straightaway, and that's a lap at Belle. So good luck to everyone this week. Hopefully everyone can have a good run.
Well, thanks very much for that, Josh. Okay, well, as you can see, pretty easy. So let's all take it easy on each other out there this week, and hopefully we'll all make it through the other end.
Welcome back to V8 Online and round number 2 of the LeBlanc Australian Online Supercar Championship. We're just about to get live pictures through from the amazing Belle circuit, the Detroit Grand Prix home track, the home of Formula One for a brief while, Detroit, but moved to this location in 1992 with IndyCar and also Kart back in the day when they had their demerger. Now they're back together and puts on an amazing event in IndyCar with the special format of 2 races in a weekend. 70-lap races that the IndyCars do. A little bit shorter for us here tonight though, with 39 laps awaiting the drivers out on circuit. They're just finishing up a little warm-up session. Then we're going to get into some very, very hot and heated qualifying. It's going to be an awesome, awesome session, isn't it, Fonty?
Yeah, it certainly is, Joe. It's going to be great. Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this event goes. These concrete walls, I'm already watching, and these guys out on track, they're already struggling at the moment. So I'm sure we're going to see lots of tangles between cars, but hopefully we have a reasonably clean race and everyone has fun out there, which is the main game. So yes, no, it's very exciting.
Definitely is. And Cam, it's a track that I know you've driven on a little bit, but it's a really, really tough track in these cars, and the conditions can really dictate how you perform at this circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, it's a street circuit, so it's a very, very challenging circuit with concrete on either side of you at every single corner. So you've got to be on your game at pretty much every moment of the circuit. And although it is actually fun to drive, it's actually still very, very challenging, very bumpy, very tight, twisty. So it's going to be very interesting to see what sort of racing is produced tonight and how these guys are going to actually take on this amazingly interesting street circuit.
You can see already the fight to get out of the pits is intense. Have a look at all of these cars fighting, pushing, shoving in the pit lane to try and be the first one out. Clear track is the big key. You want to be the first car out to try and get that first hot lap in. If you can do that and be the first one across the line, chances are you'll be right up the pointy end. We've seen that throughout, but it's going to be pretty tough to get a good lap in. Very, very easy to scrape the concrete wall. If you scrape a wall, your lap's done.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay, and it's also big shout out to LeBlanc and West End Mazda for coming on board and sponsoring this great series. We've seen so many people turn up and race tonight. Nearly as many as what we see in the V8 Supercar Online Premier Series, which is awesome for a Friday night in Australia. And yeah, I'm sure it's not going to disappoint. We've got some big names out there racing, like Jake Burton has turned up to have a crack today. It's going to be a great event.
Yeah, it definitely is. There's heaps of big names throughout the field, and the winner from last round out on track stole the victory literally in the last 100 metres. Ross Rizzo out on circuit. He was teamed up with Forzan El Nabi. I don't believe Forzan is racing tonight though, so Rizzo representing Trick Sim Sports, and the guys that he took that win away from, they are also out on circuit, that being Dane Warren and Thomas McMillan. They'll be looking for redemption tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Their last round was a very, very interesting round for a lot of guys, so it's going to be interesting to see what sort of results a lot of these guys can make up for in this round, especially with the very unpredictable nature of the street circuit.
You can see how tough it is to find a bit of real estate, a little piece of road, if you'd actually get a flying lap in. But the first of our drivers now starting to cross the start line to start their first flying lap. And they're already coming up to lap traffic coming out of turn 1. It's incredible how many cars there are and how tight this circuit is.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay. It is extremely tight, and yeah, these walls are not forgiving. As you said before, these drivers, they just touch the wall and well, their lap is over. So you want to conserve a little bit, maybe not push so hard, and sort of just bank a half decent lap, get your way up there. But I can guarantee you at turn 1 we're going to have plenty of drama to talk about.
Sure, we're going to see drama galore throughout this night. We're on board with Jordan Ross. He'll be the first to put in a representative lap time, and he actually has a little bit of clear track ahead, so you might get a little bit of good fortune. We are seeing some times up on the boards, but those are out laps, so not representative of real times. They're looking probably in the the 130s, 129s, maybe, depending on how guys go in regards to traffic and the actual track condition. But the lap is very, very tough. It is very, very technical. Jake Burton goes to the top, and as we said, a 29.8. So he's the first driver to get a fully representative time in. We'll see what Ross can do when he crosses the line. It's in the 130s, not too far off Burton, and slot into second position.
Yeah, not a bad lap there by Burton at all. I can guarantee we'll be seeing him right up the front there. This is a very short race, only 150 kilometers long, so these guys don't have the opportunity that we saw last round to kind of make their way back. But yeah, it's going to certainly be interesting. I'd certainly be pretty nervous if I was sitting mid-pack coming into that turn one, that's for sure.
So top 10 at the moment is Burton. Thomas Hinds into second position. He'll be very, very happy with that, considering the lack of seat time he has had lately. Jordan Ross in third, Brady Myers in fourth, Griffin Gardner in fifth, Richard Hampstead sixth. So 6 different teams in the top 6 cars, with Hampstead driving in this series for Redback Racing Team. Very, very tight field, and a very, very hotly contested one with 6 different teams at the front.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually very, very close at the top, and you go down to about 8th position all the way down to about 21st, or 22nd actually. It's all 31 minute 31, so it's very, very close throughout the field, and it's, with it being this close, it's going to be very interesting to see what sort of racing we're going to have.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Cam, and you've driven this track yourself. What's sort of the most difficult turns on the circuit, do you think?
I think probably the hardest turns would be definitely turn 2, as it's actually a rise and slightly off camber. So getting the power down there is extremely difficult, and if you're unlucky enough, you can actually end up in the wall very easily. Another difficult corner would probably have to be around the back end of the fountain section, where it's a bit of a right-left sort of area, and that's very difficult with the massive curbs. And although it's tempting to use them, you don't really want to use them, as it does unsettle the car very easily. So it's a very difficult track, very fun to drive actually, but once again, a technical street circuit that you've really got to be in the game for.
Now, I'm just watching Dane Warren, and Dane Warren's done exactly what we're talking about. You've got to try and keep it off the wall, ruins your lap time. He's just lost the potential to move up the time sheet. At the moment, no lap time for Dane Warren, so if he doesn't get a lap in, he'll be starting all the way back in 60th. That is not what he wants, currently second in the championship.
No, you're exactly right, Jane. It's that's what I was talking about before, is just banking that half decent lap. You don't certainly need to put it on P1. It certainly helps, but yeah, if you can just get a half decent lap in and at least get yourself on the board, then you're not going to have to fight your way through that field. Only being a 150 kilometre sprint race where you don't have much of an opportunity, although there is quite a few opportunities to pass around this track. It's yeah, very short distance to be able to make it happen, that is for sure. I've been watching Brady Myers on screen. He looks very fast, very smooth. You can tell he's done a few laps. He just dives into the pit lane, getting that pit lane practice in. These guys kind of want to make sure their pit crews are fast when they pull into the pits and chuck on those new set of tyres. So yeah, I'm picking Brady Myers to be right there, to be sticking with Jake Burton, that's for sure. Yep,
and he is currently in second position. Now, talking about the fountain section, Fonty, I don't know if you know, but some of the drivers have actually renamed the fountain at the circuit to the Scott Fountain.
Oh, there we go. We love it, eh? That's the kind of impact that we have on sim racing here at V8s Online. We're renaming circuits after Fonty. We do like that. Thank you, guys.
There's a few drivers actually sent that to me earlier in the week to say that we've got to call it the Scott Fountain. So if you're coming past, you can see in the background, amazing detail in this circuit, this street circuit. The first true street circuit we've had on iRacing. Of course, we've had Long Beach in a tech track for a long time, but Montreal, obviously a street circuit as well, but very, very different characteristic and feel to this one. This is an amazing track and very, very unique. I know a lot of drivers love it, and there's a lot of drivers out there that are very, very against it, if that makes sense. It's Burton, big hit in the wall. It's been a polar opposite. There's no real middle ground. You're either absolutely in love or you're absolutely detesting this place.
Yeah, well, there's no room for a mistake, no runoff. So, you know, you've really got to be on your game. And for 150 kilometres, it is going to be hard for these guys to, yeah, keep it off the wall. And, yeah, I would be, you'd be hard pressed to find a car at the end of this race with all straight panels, I reckon. What do you think about that, Cam?
I think you'd probably be right to some extent. It's, of course, going to be very challenging for a lot of these guys, especially pushing at the level they are to keep it all four panels on the car around this street circuit. So we may see, I'd say, probably a handful of cars with all panels left on that have just made their way through and kept out of trouble. But for the most part, I think we're going to have majority of the field missing one or two, if not all four panels on the car at some stage.
You're signing the Redback Racing Team. Jacob Knight just shoots up the timing sheet up into position number 8. Good to see him jumping across and jumping in with the Redback Racing Team guys. And Redback Racing Team really coming on strong. We've got Chris Robinson also in the top 5. And Richard Hampstead driving with these guys as a little bit of a mentor role. A few of these drivers are really seeing the benefits of that very early in this championship.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay. And yeah, as you're just saying, Redback Racing have come a long way. We saw them do a lot of GT stuff in the past, and they've only really come back in the V8 Supercar full time. Having LeBLANC on the side of the car, sponsoring them, certainly is a great thing. I'm just watching Jacob Knight there as he slightly touches the wall. But yeah, no, it's definitely a positive for them to have the likes of Richard Hampstead on board with them to mentor them through it and improve their track position as such. Richard has been around the V8 Supercars since the beginning of iRacing. We used to see him right up there. He's won a few championships. He took out our very first test season in the V8 Supercar Online Premier Series. And yeah, he's only doing wonders for these guys. So as we actually see him move up the timesheets to P7, I think he's going to be definitely hunting up there. But yeah, this Redback Racing Team are going to be in the hunt for the team championship, I definitely feel.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. Jake Burton for TTR position 1, TTL second with Brady Myers. Third, All-Star Motorsports fourth, Jordan Ross for Synergy Sim Racing. And then you've got Chris Robinson in 5th position for Redback Racing Team, and then Privateer and Griffin Gardner in 6th. You've got another team in the top 10 with Trick Sim Sports, Ross Rizzo in 8th position, and 10th position to Brett Loxton. So we've got 8 different teams in the top 10, which is a great sight to see. Very, very close field.
Yeah, you're exactly right. One of the cars who is a little bit off the pace at the moment, Brian Borg, we saw them right up there in the hunt. Him and Corey Preston were challenging last week in that 650 kilometre endurance race that we had at Imola. I'm wondering if he's going to get a little bit further up the grid here for the start of the race.
He's just trying to find a bit of clear track to get a flying lap in. We'll stay with Brian Borg and see if he can move up the timing sheets. Currently 45th position, a 1 minute 32.2. That finds him, what, about 2.5 seconds off the pace of Jake Burton. It's going to be tough to get laps in now. The track conditions have deteriorated a little bit. The track is not overly hot, around about 28 degrees, but it's not going to be the easiest conditions to get a flying lap in now, especially with 60 cars out on the circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very busy out there with pretty much everybody on track trying to set a lap time or improve on their lap time. So it's making it very difficult for a lot of these guys to try and get a decent lap time, and especially if they're in between someone who's actually not quicker or is quicker. So it's all go at the moment. We'll see who can actually pull it out of the bag, especially with these changing track conditions, with it being now a little bit warmer than it was at the start of the session and a little bit more rubber as well. So I'd say majority of the Scops guys that have the experience of the change track conditions will probably excel in this at this stage of the session, but we'll see what happens, and anyone can probably pop something out of the bag.
Yeah, we'll stay with Borg as he's just hit the wall on his flying lap. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to clip the wall, you don't want to clout the wall. See if he does continue on with this lap as he's dropping further and further down the timesheets. Now back into 47th position. Still needs to find himself. But if he finds a second, he gains pretty much half the field. That's how close that second half of this field is. It is so tight, it is so close. It's going to mean that we're going to have some great battles as this race progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Joe. There is going to be great battles all throughout the pack, really. One person I know who will be in all the battles will be Ross Rizzo. We saw him, he has improved out of sight in my mind. We've seen him so fast in many a different class that he's raced in, GTs and the V8 Supercar. Currently sitting in P7. I think that he'll be hoping to get himself a P in the top 5 in this event. Also, Brett Loxton, very, very fast driver. We've seen him get very queries. Hasn't quite been able to stand on that top step of the podium. He is currently sitting in P11. I'm definitely sure he'll be hoping for a top 5 as well.
Brian Borg did cross the line with a lap that would have put him into the top 20, but it did not count after clipping the wall. So he's going to have to go again and try and get a lap time in as he drops further and further down the timing sheets, down to 48th, and he's looped it at turn 3. Very easy to do, to have too much momentum, try and push it a little bit too hard on the brakes and loop it around into the fence. We're going to see a lot of that throughout this race.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very bumpy through a lot of braking areas at this track, especially into turn 3. So, going to be interesting. We'll probably see a few incidents with guys locking rears or clipping walls and bouncing across the track and that sort of stuff. But that's the nature of a street circuit, and it's to be expected. So guys are going to have to make sure that they're aware of what's going on around them and be ready just in case someone should have a little bit of a moment.
Another driver that's a little bit further down the timing sheets than I would have expected is Michael Taliancic. All the way back in 46th position. We've seen him fight for top 10s and top 5s in V8 Scops and the official Monday night V8 Supercars. To see him that far back is a big, big surprise to me as well.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay. We have seen him be very fast, and he has improved. He's been around the iRacing scene for quite a while. I would think that maybe he hasn't done too many laps around the circuit. So, yeah, we will see him definitely get a lot faster over the race, I would think. As long as he can keep it out of the wall, then I'm sure he will make his way up into that top 10.
He's a master of strategy as Taliancic. We've seen him play alternate strategy games continuously throughout the Monday night V8 Supercar Series, so he's not scared to try something different and try something alternate and try and work his way forward through the field. Now, if you're wondering where your favourite driver is, or the driver that you're wanting to keep an eye on is in the field, we do have live timing available on our website, v8online.com/live timing. You're able to keep up to date as Taliancic just gets balked right at the braking zone. Greg Sharp was trying to get out of the way, but just couldn't quite get off the line, and Taliancic probably lost half a second there.
Yeah, he would have. One driver there, Jay, who we were talking about a moment ago, who has just managed to go to the top of the list, is Dane Warren.
Wow.
He was struggling there, so good on Dane. He's got to be happy with that lap. Bank himself. There is still another 12 minutes left in qualifying, so anything can happen, but you got to be happy with that when you're certainly a little bit further down the field. A couple of minutes go, and then bang, he's put it on P1. So well done to Dane Warren at this stage.
And Taliancic just puts it into the fence. Very, very easy to do. Just outbroke himself coming in to turn 7. So really tough to get yourself a clear bit of track to get a flying lap in. It's not the easiest track to get clear air, and it's a very, very busy circuit at the best of times. Having 60 cars out on track is making things very, very difficult. But surprised at the pace that Warren has this late in the session. 29.7 to Pip Burton by 8/100ths of a second. Not a huge margin, but doesn't have to be a huge margin as long as the position changes.
Yeah, absolutely. That positional change is probably actually going to be quite a large impact, especially on a track where it's very narrow and very tight. If Dane can hold off Burton and be defensive throughout this race, he may actually be able to win this from pole position. So we'll see what happens. But that said, Burton is a very experienced driver, being not only a coach for Virtual Racing School, but also a driver for Trans-Tasman Racing. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these two battle out throughout this race and who's actually going to come out on top.
We're on board with Burton. We'll see if he's got anything to respond to Dane Warren. Big, big sideways moment coming out of turn 5 and then clips the wall at the inside of turn 6. So that will end that lap. So Burton now will have to bring it back into the pits, get a fresh car, go again, or he might nearly push on for a second lap. You can get a second lap out of the tyres at this circuit. No, you won't get a second lap out of those tyres anymore. That's them done. Chris Robinson still finds himself in the top 10 in position number 6. Good to see him up as high as him. Another team that's made it into the top 20 now, Steve Jansen for CMR team in position 13.
One driver, Joe, who has impressed me so far, Griffin Gardner, sitting in P8 at the moment. He's got to be happy with that banker at this stage.
Yeah, definitely good lap from him, a 30.3 as we still see Brian Borg. He's now into the 50 mark, 51st position. He will not be happy with where he's sitting at the moment. 2 seconds separate the top 41 cars and Borg's done it again. So not having a great night is Brian Borg.
Another driver out there for Evolution Racing Team, Jamie McKnight, part of the West End Mazda crew. He runs West End Mazda. They're a big supporter of the series, so good to see him out there. You saw him, he had a lot of pace at round 1, currently sitting in P17, so I'm sure he'll be hoping to get up into the sort of top 10 for qualifying. But yes, with this very difficult street circuit, you've got to be kind of happy with, you know, being in the top 20, I guess.
Well, making the grid in the first place has been an achievement for a lot of drivers. It's very, very tough to just get a flying lap in now. We're seeing all sorts of issues and incidents out on the circuit as guys are not intentionally, but just everyone's getting in each other's way, and it's making it really hard for anyone to get a flying lap in. We'll go back to Burton because he's just starting another flying lap, and he has clean track as well.
Yeah, it's got a bit of clean track ahead of him, so we'll see what sort of lap he can do. It's going to be very interesting pushing the brakes right into as late as he can into turn 3. He's absolutely on it, so see if he can improve on this lap, and it's looking like he's probably going to at the rate he's going.
Through turn 5, hard braking into turn 6, second gear. Just flicks it into third to avoid getting wheel spin on the exit, then the longest straight on the track that isn't straight at all. Then you've got a really tough braking zone into turn 7 because the IndyCar you're flat and then you turn, you can brake straight, but in the V8 Supercar you've got to take a really bizarre line to make it work and into the wall.
Yeah, he was very committed there. He's going to go out and have a crack. So we've got 9 minutes left of this qualifying session. So Burton is trying to put that car on P1. I'd still be happy with P2, but he's obviously wants to try and pit Dane Warren. There's nothing in it, so just have to wait and see what happens.
So we now have 56 drivers out who have posted lap times in this session. 57 drivers in the session. Jake Maloney, the one driver yet to post a lap time. Top 55, 2.6 seconds. It's incredibly close the whole way through this field. If you can find yourself a 10th, you're probably going to gain 3 or 4 spots regardless of where you are in the field.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay. And yeah, I'm interested to see who withstand this difficult circuit. And one of the names actually out there who I haven't seen too often, Mitchell Selleck. I saw him sort of quite a bit out there in the 2016 VAT Supercar Online Premier Series. We didn't see him that much last year, and we certainly haven't seen him race in this year. So be interesting to see how he goes today as well. He's sitting back in 22nd. Behind him, Matt Morris for Velocity Sim Racing. Good to see him up there in P23, and then Jake Blackwell back into P24.
Brian Borg still yet to get a representative lap time in. And he is on a flyer right now, but he has got Ciolak tucked right in underneath his rear wing. Borg's best lap, a 1 minute 32.2. He crosses the line and improves. And only gains a couple of spots, goes to 50th position. He will not be happy with that. And Ciolak potentially was held up a little bit as well. He didn't improve on his lap time. Actually, he did. Sorry, my mistake. Ciolak did improve. I'm wondering how much he was hampered, though, by the car of Borg, which I can't believe that he is sitting in position 50. That's a long way back from where you would expect him to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
there you go, Cam. You go, mate.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he's well down the order from where he we'd normally see him, so not sure what's going on, whether he's just not comfortable with the setup of the car or just hasn't done enough laps with the combo. It's a bit interesting, but it was really sideways at the end of that lap, so from
Oh, big moment there for Jake Burton.
Yeah, that was a
Just caught
scary
up.
moment.
Yeah, certainly was. Yeah, caught up. I think he would just started his flying lap, so doesn't have a lot of time left now. Must be close to 5 minutes left.
So jump on board with Brady Myers and we'll see if he can get a better lap time in. His current best is a 1 minute 30.0. Burton with a 29.8, so he needs to find just over 2/10 of a second to gain a spot and get himself on the front row. It can be done, but it is not easy, and big moment. Very, very
Big
easy to lose
moment
it.
there. Yeah, exactly. You can tell. I tell you what, iRacing have done an excellent job at scanning this circuit. Just looking at the, you know, the detail in the track itself, and every bump, every nick, every cranny. It's going to be, it's going to be very interesting when the grip goes down, how the circuit kind of reacts. I haven't seen, well, I certainly haven't watched too much racing around this track so far, but yeah, we certainly haven't seen the likes of 60 V8 supercars go screaming around here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how everyone goes and whether we can get through this race without too many incidents. There's no doubt that we will see some accidents somewhere. It's a given with the nature of this circuit, but how big or small they are will depend on how smart the drivers behave in the race tonight. Jordan Ross on a flyer. We'll see if he can move up the timing sheets. He only needs 8 thousandths of a second to jump Brady Myers on the second row, from going from 4th to 3rd. We'll see if he can do it. Big commitment through turn 4 though.
Yeah, absolutely. He's right on it, getting a little bit of a slide on there through turn 4, coming on to the back straight now. What's this lap going to be? It's looking like it's going to be very quick, but only time will tell. He'll be looking at that delta bar and hoping that it's green and it stays green, because if it does not stay green, he's not going to improve. He's looking very comfortable at the moment through the back end of section of the circuit, keeping off those curbs. Car's actually riding quite nicely over the bumps as well, so could be an advantage for him come the later part of the race, especially if it's looking after its tyres.
So a few little bizarre glitches, sorry for that. Oh, big moment for Ross coming into the latter half of the circuit. Big sideways drift. And staying into the lap though, no, he's actually getting out of it. That was a big moment through turn 12. We just locked it up under brakes. Very, very easy to do.
Yeah, Burton on a lap as well now, Joey. Interesting to see if he can pull that from Dame Warren. These guys go head to head all the time. Oh, he's in the wall. Big moment. That is lap done there for Jake Burton just before the pit lane. So his time is definitely running out.
He's going to have one more crack. He'll have enough time to get one lap in, provided he can keep it clean for the entire lap. We're going to go to Jacob Knight, currently in 11th now. We saw in the Laguna Seca V8 Scops round how well Knight did in the second split with the P2. But now, over with the Redback Racing Team crew, we'll see if he can just take it up to the next level. It looks like it's already starting to pay off for him with P11 in this session so far.
Yeah, Jacob Knight is, we saw him have a spectacular performance in Split 2 race at the last round of V8 Scops, and yeah, to be sitting right up here in P11 with the caliber of drivers out there on track, he's just coming down the front straight. Is he going to be able to improve?
Improvement.
It is an improvement.
Goes to 8th.
He has P8. Got to be happy with that. That is a tremendous effort there. That drops Griffin Gardner way back to, well, not way back, but back to P10. Ross Rizzo, he's in front of Ross Rizzo, which is, that is a very good effort. So you got to be happy with that, Jacob. bank that. Just keep it clean through that first lap, and then fight your way forward to the front, start of trouble, and I think you'll find yourself up in that top 5.
Brian Borg still a long way down. He has got a lap time in that is a bit better, but he's still in 47th position. He is not comfortable out on this circuit at the moment. We'll see if he can get a time in to jump up the timing sheets. There's only a minute 30 left, so you pretty much have to cross the line in the next minute or two to get a lap to count. Borg crosses the line, no improvement.
Jake Burton on his last flying lap. This is going to be his last opportunity. Is he going to be able to hold it together? Keep it off those walls. Oh, big off up there.
Just threw it over the curb at turn 3, bouncing it off the curb at turn 4.
He is very committed in this lap, I can tell you what.
Look good through 5. Keep it off the inside wall. You want to hug it as close as you can. He clips the wall.
Wow,
big moment.
bang, over. So there we go. He's going to have to settle for P2 unless somebody else improves. Brady Myers will definitely be trying to improve, but I think he's also had a moment back there.
And Jordan Ross has also done. Richard Hampstead's gone to P5 while we've been watching everything else going on. And Hampstead
does have an opportunity here. He's got 30 seconds left in this session.
See if he can jump up the timing sheets. Not much time left.
Yeah, no, there's not much time left and not much tyres left by the look of it. Big understeer through that last section.
He's got to get across the line before the clock hits 0. I think he'll do it with about 2 seconds to spare. So we'll stay with this lap from Hampstead. We'll see what he can do. His current best lap is a 1 minute 30.076. If he can get it into the 29s, he goes to the second row of the grid. If he can get any further up the grid than that, he will be over the moon. Currently P5. Checkered flag is out. Session is over. No more flying laps for anybody. Hampstead will be the last car to do a lap.
Yeah, here we go. I reckon we're going to see Hampstead pull out a spectacular one here. Unless that car in front of him is going to slow him down. We've always seen Hampstead come through and just steal them at the last moment. Oh, very close to the wall there. You can't get any closer than that. I think if he that wing mirror was any wider.
Big slide through turn 5, looking good through 6. Did get it composed and pulled up. Somehow pulled it up for turn 6. Biggest acceleration zone on the circuit. Coming up to turn 7. Get a real wide entry so that you can brake straight. Throw it over the curb and then try and...
Wow, he is super committed through this section of the track. Through the whole lap, really. Not much of a lap left to go. And he is going to be able to use that car potentially as a slight bit of... Oh, no, it's over. It's over. There he goes. He's going to have to settle for P5. I think that he was definitely on a winner there, but these walls bite in the streets of Detroit.
Well, that is session done. Nobody else on a flying lap. So, our first ever grid here at the Detroit Grand Prix circuit at Belle Isle. The front row is Dane Warren and Jake Burton. Brady Myers and Jordan Ross on the second row of the grid with Richard Hampstead and Thomas Hinds on the fourth row. And we've got 6 different teams in the top 6. Fourth row is Robinson and Knight for Redback Racing Team. Redback Racing Team done a great job in qualifying. Ross Rizzo and Griffin Gardner round out the top 10 with Brett Loxton and Thomas McMillan on the 6th row. 7th row is Joe Burkett and Steve Jansen, Michael Cracknell and Mitchell Ciolak. On the next row, 9th row goes to Kyle Stokes and Zach Best. 10th row is Jake Blackhall and Bradley Ratu. Then we've got Jamie McKnight and Benjamin Smith, Josh Nowak, Daniel Williams, Sean Thompson, Matt Morris, Mitchell Bales, David Kinmond, then Warren Pickering, Scotty McQueen, Brendan Jackson and Craig Jones, 31st and 32nd. Greg Sharp, Henry King, Peter Sadler and Reese Keane. Paul Preston in 37th. Matt Lepedivan. I got it wrong last week. I've probably got it wrong again tonight. Sorry, Matt. In 38th. 39th goes to Wayne Taylor, Brett Gerardis. In 40th, Grant Caines and Christian Smart, 41st and 42nd, Scott Clark and Thomas Freeman. Then we got Scott O'Keefe Jason Bentz, Brian Borg, those two guys for Cross Continental will be unhappy with how far back in the field they are. Then Wayne Pendley in 48th position. 49th goes to Chad Hearn, Brad Haig, and then we've got Matthew Clote, Jaden Borg, Michael Taliancic, Shane Evans, Gary Cooper, James Duckworth, and Jake Maloney, the 57 cars that have taken to the grid tonight. It's a massive field. It's going to be massive action.
Field.
Have a look at how far back around the circuit.
Yeah, they're way back around, nearly at turn 1. At the last turn there. It's yeah, this is a huge field for such a small street circuit.
Don't forget, we will have live timing up throughout this race on our website, v8online.com/live timing. Big thanks to Joel Real Timing. Big thanks also to LeBlanc and West End Mazda for their support of this series to make sure that we can have a broadcast coming to you each and every round. We wait for the field to be set and the green flag to fly. We've only got a couple of seconds left. 39 laps, 147 kilometers. Pit window somewhere between lap 15 and lap 24, depending on your fuel burn.
Here we go. Revs rise. It's going to be interesting. And we are underway for round 2 of the Australian Online Supercar Championship. Great start there from Dane Warren. He has absolutely blitzed the field there. It's clean going through turn 1. Oh, a big moment there for one of the Synergy Sim Racing cars. Managed to keep it off the wall though.
Oh, I've got a big incident back in the field though. Have a look at all these cars filing down into turn 3s. We've got Burkett, big lockup. Looks like we're getting through. Okay, no, big crash.
Big cars back. Big crash at the back of the field.
That's absolutely massive.
Yeah, that is the car park. They're going to need to throw a yellow for this one, I would think.
Yeah, we might stay green for a couple of laps and then they'll get the caution once everyone's back in the field. And apologies, our timing and screens are just glitching a little bit with so many cars out on the circuit, but we'll get that hopefully under control in the next couple of moments. But
one person who really got caught up there was Jake Maloney. His car doesn't look too damaged, but he's sitting way back in 40th position at the moment. Got a blown up car there. You can see a lot of smoke coming out. Just going to find out who that is. One of the Penrite cars.
So we come around to complete lap 1. And Dane Warren leads this field from Jake Burton by 1 and a bit seconds on the first lap.
Yeah, not a bad little gap to have there for lap 1. Certainly spread the field out with that incident that we have seen. So top 10 there, they've got away pretty cleanly, but further back is no good news for those guys.
Apologies for the glitchiness in the stream at the moment. We're just trying to see if we can fix the issues.
Oh, 3 wide through one of the corners back here. Someone's ended up in the wall. They've got away with it though. It was Josh Nowak slightly touching the wall.
It's actually going to try and move on Ratu, but that hasn't worked, and now I've got the yellow.
Gordon Ross has been turned around as well. Yellow out though, so our first safety car of the night. This is going to bunch the field back up. We're going to see most of these cars roll back into the pit lane, grab themselves a new car, and they will get themselves back out on the circuit.
Actually, just looking back at that incident with Ross, it looks like he's actually done it all on his own. He's just been caught out by the bump on the exit and he's just spun it out.
apologies for
Yes,
the
you're
technical
exactly right there,
issues we're
Cam.
having as well. I'm just having trouble with the amount of cars on the circuit. Everything's decided to go haywire and not working properly, so our apologies for that.
Yeah, some of the technical dramas that we see, especially with so many cars on the track, as you said, Jay, it's very difficult for a CPU to keep up with it all the time. We'll settle itself down though, and we will see some great racing throughout this 39-lap race. Already on to lap 3, so getting its way through very quickly. We're going to see everyone start to dive in the pit lane very, very soon. Got people out there already starting to fuel save. Thomas McMillan, he's just chucked it in neutral, rolling.
Yeah, I'd say a lot of these guys will definitely be trying to save as much fuel as possible to have a short stop later in this race, so they don't sit stationary for too long, so they can gain as much track position as possible, as that's the last thing you want to do, especially on a street circuit, is lose any sort of position or track position, as that could possibly hamper any sort of result you could get in this race today.
Sorry guys, I'm just trying to fix some technical issues on the broadcast. We'll just try and get them sorted in the next couple of moments while we're under safety car. You're not missing anything, but my apologies for the technical issues we are having. New circuit, we didn't know how it would go on PC load, and it's showing that it's struggling a little. Got a few cars looking to come into the pits, but doesn't look like any of the front runners are going to come in. Hopefully this has settled down a bit now and we can enjoy the next few laps. We'll get up back under green this time by. Sorry to everyone for the issues. We didn't know how it was going to go at this track. New circuit, you never know. It's a going to be a interesting one in the next few laps, as a few guys already out of the race, already dropped a few cars from this field. We'll come around to start lap number 5 next time by.
Yes, I think we'll start to see some pretty clean racing from here, although we will see a couple of incidents. That was a big pile up that we had on lap 1 there. These drivers who got caught up in the back will be wanting to make their way and up through the field and redeem themselves.
So half a lap until we go green. We'll get the first decent run, green flag running. Front guys all look like they're fairly controlled, fairly settled. Cars all look like they've got through unscathed. But that busy pack back in the field, looking a little bit second hand, half of the cars in that field. It's not looking like it's too much of a fun time back there. So Peter Sadler's car looking very, very second-hand. He's continuing on. He's staying out there 39th position, but it does not look overly healthy. But we are coming around to start lap number 5. We'll get the green flag in the air this time. Hopefully we won't have any technical issues and we'll be all good and settled, ready to go again.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Dane Warren gets that jump that he did on the start there. That was an amazing start from Warren. He, yeah, absolutely blitzed the rest of the field. Burton couldn't keep up, and he's jumped it again. Excellent start there from Warren. As soon as the safety car was in, he was off and done. Coming here into turn 1. Are we going to get through this cleanly? Big cut there from Dane Warren.
Looks like it's all fairly controlled in this entire field. Up into turn 3, single file for the front 10 or so cars, but back in the field, we're starting to see a bit of two-wide action side by side. The cars of Taliantis. Taliantis has already moved his way through the field a fair bit, up into 27th. And Jordan Ross's car looks very, very second-hand. Have a look at the missing bonnet on his car. His car does not look healthy. At the front, Warren has broken away from Burton. Oh, Jordan Ross just got clipped there by Scotty McQueen and somehow has held on to it.
Yeah, he did very well to actually hold on to that. Very easily to get turned, especially, and it caused another massive pile-up as well. So he's done well to hold on to that, but that car is looking a little bit second-hand, but he's going to be circulating and he'll be trying to do that just to gain some decent points if he can just continue on.
Taliantic up into 27th from his starting position. He's plus 25 in this race already. That's an amazing effort. At the front, Burton has dropped from Warren a fair bit. Already a second between first and second. Richard Hampstead, though, applying pressure to his normal teammate in Brady Myers, but obviously not on the same team in this race. Still having some technical issues.
Yeah, Richard did actually get quite a decent restart of the safety car restart. So he did look to make a move at turn 1, but he thought against it. So we'll see what he can possibly do in the next few laps and whether he's actually going to be able to get by. He should be able to, having the experience that he does. But I know that TTL machine of Brady Myers is definitely quite hooked up this week. So could be a bit of a challenge for him, for Richard to try and get by Brady and Brady for could be an interesting battle to see how Brady holds up as team boss.
Oh, just watching Brett Loxton there slightly clip the wall on the exit of the turn he just came out of.
Really easy to clip the inside wall at turn 6 because you want to take it as aggressive as possible. Cut it as fine as you can, but the inside wall really comes out at a bizarre angle right at the apex. So you can suck yourself into cutting it a little bit too aggressive. Another big slide. He's tucked in behind Ross Rizzo. He's going to come under pressure from Griffin Gardner, but Gardner another big moment as well. So these guys are all starting to struggle a little bit, and the tyre wear is really going to catch a few drivers out throughout this race.
Yeah, you're certainly right, Jay. The tyre wear around this track is going to be phenomenal. It's although there's going to be a fair bit of grip go down on the circuit, these tyres, once they get to a point, they drop off very, very quickly. So these drivers are going to need to look after the tyres as much as they can. The person who is looking very smooth and fast out on track there is our leader of the race, Dane Warren. Super fast. He's already pulled out 1.5 seconds on Jake Burton. Well, 1.3 seconds on Jake Burton, I should say. And then back to Brady Myers is another 1.1 seconds. Hampstead putting a lot of pressure on Myers, though only half a second separating them. And then Chris Robinson right on the back of Hampstead. So good on Chris Robinson for being right there in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris is doing a fantastic job to keep up with Richard at the moment in that Redback racing machine. He's come a long way in the last few months, especially with the coaching from Richard. So it's been really, really good to see these top guys actually step out of their comfort zone, sort of, and actually be willing to help out the smaller guys and get them towards the front of the field. So a little bit of camaraderie in the sim racing world at the moment between these guys. So we'll see how this goes and what sort of pace Chris can actually pull out here, and whether he's actually able to get possibly by Richard.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Cam, and it is great to see these bigger teams helping out these smaller guys, trying to build up their speed, giving them a little bit of tips, helping them with setup stuff, and then generally improving their positions on track, which, yeah, as we touched on before, it is really starting to help there. As I'm just watching Chris Robinson, big moment as he comes out of the turn here. It's yeah, it is really great to see these bigger teams coming on board and helping these smaller guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of smaller teams and bigger teams going on, Richard Amstead's now right all over the back end of that TTL machine of Brady Myers. He's looking very, very racy at the moment. It's going to be interesting. Oh, big slide from Richard there out of the turn 5 section, coming onto the back straight out of turn 6. What's he going to do? He doesn't quite have the run down the back straight. He's tucked right in behind, try and get the best draft he possibly can. I don't think there's going to be a move up at the next corner, but we'll possibly see he's trying to pull the thing up, but he does manage to pull it up, but just doesn't quite have the drive through this section of racetrack to get on by Brady Myers. Oh, and another big slide from both of them actually. So this is great racing actually from these two teammates, or real teammates, and completely different competitors at the same time.
It'll be a strange feeling for these guys. Obviously Brady fairly new to the TTL Esports garage, but been teammates for a little while now, and having someone who is your teammate but in different colours representing a different team will be very, very strange for Brady, and he'll be doing everything he can to keep Richard Amstead on the rear of that car. So we now hit lap number 9. We've got 31 to go in this race. Apologies, the live timing has also decided to not work. We're having all sorts of technical issues. But at the front, Dane Warren's pulled 1.7 seconds over Burton. Burton's broken away from Brady Myers. So those front two have broken a fairly big gap. As Myers a big moment. Here comes Amstead. He might be able to capitalise here.
Yeah, he possibly could. He's still right there. He's actually, Richard's very, very quick through this first sector and set of corners, but then Brady seems to have the upper edge through the middle and end of the laps. So very, very interesting to actually see the two completely different setups and driving styles between these two. The difference it's making in terms of lap time.
Joe, we've got a blown up car. James Duckworth, he just saw him limping down there. He has pulled into the pit lane, but that is engine done for him. He's getting a fresh car. He's going to make his way back out there onto track, but lost a lot of track position, sitting way back in 37th at the moment. So we won't be too happy with that.
There's been a lot of casualties in this race already. So we've still got a fair amount of the field running. Obviously, a lot of drivers have gone out there, back out there with their spare cars, but Brady Myers doing a good job with his pressure from behind, but another driver that's applying pressure, another Redback Racing Team driver. Have a look at Jacob Knight, tucked right in behind Thomas Hinds, and he might be able to get a move done here in the next lap.
Yeah, I was just looking at Jacob Knight, looking very, very quick out there on track. So Thomas Hinds, one person we often talk about, can jump in any sort of car and be fast. He's under a lot of pressure at the moment. They should just be working together to try and catch up to Griffin Gardner in front of them. Griffin is 1.8 seconds up the road from those guys, so they could work together to try and catch him. That will certainly help their track position in the end.
Good move though from Knight to get that done, as there's contact between Bradley Ratu and Warren Pickering. Pickering's Fusion Sim Racing Falcon not looking too great. There's definitely contact between he and Bradley Ratu as Ratu come through in the chute between turns 3 and 4. Looks like they're all settled and back into single file once again. The big gap behind Pickering back to Jordan Ross. Michael Taliancic is tucked in behind Kyle Stokes, and he'll be looking to get a move done. The 777 versus the 888 right here.
Yeah, Taliancic will be trying to make his way through the field after starting all the way back down where he did. So, and he's doing quite a good job as well coming through the field, doing technically what I would normally be doing, but yeah, he's doing very well to make his way through the field, and at this rate he should be on for a top 15, if not a top 10, I'd have to say.
Oh, I tell you what, guys, Hampstead putting a lot of pressure on Brady Myers there. Chris Robinson hanging on the back of him. So these LeBlanc cars really working well together, putting a lot of pressure on the TTL cars.
Yeah, it looks like they've done a fair bit of work on setup to try and get them moving forward and get themselves up the field. So, got 3 cars inside the top 10 for the Redback Racing team crew. So we've got McMillan side by side with Stevie Anson coming into turn 4, and Cracknell's going to try and get a spot as well. Ciolak and Burkett also involved in this. This is a great 5-car fight.
Yeah, you've got all sorts of teams. You've actually got 4 different teams all battling for the one bit of racetrack, and it's going to be very interesting to see who comes out on top. You've currently got the ASM car out front, followed by the CMR, and then Evolution Race Team, and then TTL. So it's all on for the minor positions at the moment, just outside the top 10. So, oh, that was very wide for McMillan, and he's going to go side by side with Stevie Anson. Stevie Anson's going to try and get the crossback, but now there's a TTL train behind the Evolution Racing car, and they're trying to get him up so they can get by. But Stevie Anson's managed to get on by McMillan, and now Cracknell's going to be looking at possibly trying to get past McMillan as well, and he's going to look up the inside. It's going to be a risky move, doing it at this point.
Oh, this is just inviting more team. Oh, there's contact at the back.
Matt Morris
getting a bit of a shun there.
Oh, McMillan!
Oh, there we go. Both of them in the fence.
So McMillan's lost out big time there.
Yes, McMillan has dropped right back. He was right in the hunt there as he pulls into the pit lane. Got to fix that car. He would have sustained a fair bit of damage there.
And that started from McMillan. McMillan trying to defend coming into turn 7. Janssen had a great run down the straight. McMillan compromised his entry into turn 7 and took a real shallow
We've had Hampstead get past Brady Myers, guys. So there is a TTL car and a redback sandwich here. But Brady Myers is not giving up that position. He's putting a lot of pressure on there. Don't know if we can go back and get that on replay there, Jay.
Yep, we'll do our best to get a Western Mazda replay. Haven't been able to get too many replays working tonight. We're staying with this one for the moment with Thomas McMillan. You see Matt Morris nowhere to go but into the side. See if we can get the replay of the pass of Hampstead on Myers. Fairly straightforward, just a better run out of turn 2, then side by side coming through turn 3 and 4 gets the move done.
Myers in the wall.
Wow.
He's just touched it.
Here comes Chris Robinson. He's going to take advantage now.
Though. Yeah, he certainly is. I don't know if he would have got any damage from that. I certainly saw some sparks flying. Makes it very difficult when you got a lot of pressure on you from behind. That front aero didn't quite work the same for him as the previous lap.
Got Matt Morris as well going slow. He's coming into the pits with the damage he sustained from that incident with McMillan. Sorry there, Ken.
Yeah, I was just going to say, one thing Robertson and also Myers will have to keep an eye on is the fact that Ross Rizzo is not too far behind them as well, and he'll be hunting to try and get by these two and into the top 5, so they'll have to be careful and make sure that if they're going to make a move at some stage, they have to be very, very careful about it and make sure that Rizzo doesn't take advantage of it and slot on by at the same time. Oh, and Myers with a big lockup. That's almost in the fence, but he's going to go side by side with Robertson. Robertson backs out safely. Try and not cause contact. That was very, very close for Myers to almost end up in the fence there.
And what that's done, it's meant that Hampstead's got a bit of a gap now. And have a look at Rizzo trying to take the alternate line to get a great exit. Going to be tough to get a move done into 11 though.
Yeah, Rizzo putting a lot of pressure on Robinson now. These guys battling all the way through. I tell you what, this is a great circuit. Great circuit, but if you get it wrong, as Rizzo slightly touches that rear wing on that wall.
Now complete 13 laps. Now on lap number 14 of this 39 lap race, round number 2 of the LeBlanc Australian Online Supercar Championship. Hampstead's now pulled 2 seconds over these guys. Oh, Myers, big slide coming through turn 5.
Oh, he was very lucky not to put that one in the wall.
Loxton's starting to close up on these guys as well. Loxton's going to be in this fight very, very soon. Has got cars slow out on the circuit as well? No, sorry, that's just the timing going a bit haywire. We're having all sorts of tech issues. Our apologies again.
Yeah, one battle back here. Jay, P28, P29. Reese Keane, Paul Preston. Preston putting a lot of pressure on Reese. Also, Kyle Stokes, David Kinman. Those guys going toe-to-toe. Oh,
Brady
I think
Myers in the
Preston's
pits.
going to get him. Brady Myers in the pit lane.
So pit window, we said, was around about between lap 15 and lap 24. Brady Myers is going to risk it and try and pit now and make it home. Probably going to see the pit lane light up in the next few laps. A lot of the field jumping in and taking this opportunity. So Rizzo now right on the tail of Chris Robinson, trying to get himself up another spot. Robinson now with clear track, makes a big mistake through 4. Here comes Rizzo side by side. This does not work, but Rizzo's going to get it done. Holding the outside, tucks back in behind. I thought he might have had a bit of overlap into 6. Oh, big slide though for Robinson.
Very close. Wow, that was super close. Great battling between these two guys.
See if Rizzo can get a move done. Very, very deep. Goes Chris Robinson, does pull it up somehow. Oh, just clips the wall.
Oh, here we go. Rizzo's going to try and get this run now. This has opened up a huge gap to Hampstead. Nearly 4 seconds.
Yeah, Hampstead's just shot off down the road. Last lap was 7/10 quicker than Robinson and Rizzo. So Brady Myers was really struggling, wasn't he?
Loxton in the mix.
Yeah, Loxton's right there now too.
Yeah, I did say that Loxton, he would be a force to be reckoned with in this race. Did say a P5 would be good, as we're going to see Robinson dive into the pit lane now. So that's going to move Loxton up to P number 4.
Hampstead also in the lane. So Hampstead will be
go.
going to undercut
So
Brady Myers here.
Yes, so here we go. This is really interesting. Bit of team tactics there between those two cars. Is Hampstead going to get a full tank of fuel though, or is he going to need to try and fuel save his way through to the finish?
Hampstead's out.
Brady's just coming through the final corner and onto the front straight. This is going to be very, very close.
He's going to get him. He's going to get him. Hampstead's got him.
And Brady's just come out right with Chris Robinson. They'll continue their fight as they were before the pit stops.
There we go. It's on for young and old here. Hampstead has Kinman in front of him. Boy, it's very nerve-wracking for these slightly not so experienced guys to have a veteran of the sport there, as he's going to open up the gap and let him go, or is he?
I think this is also one thing a lot of guys probably didn't quite expect, is the amount of traffic when they do the undercut, because although it's a normal undercut, there's a lot more traffic because of the spread and the fact that it's a street circuit, so you're not able to get the moves done we would hope to get it done as quickly. So they're going to be getting held up, and they've got to make sure that they don't lose too much time, or they're going to be hampered, and it's going to pretty much mean that the undercut's going to have been pointless at the end.
Burton is in. Jacob Knight is in. Dane Warren continues on at the front of the field. He stretched the gap out to 5 seconds before we saw Burton in, and Hampstead now got the run to get the move done into the final corner on Scotty McQueen. McQueen had to get out of the throttle. And I'll tell you what, Hampstead could jump Burton, and he does.
Yeah,
Hampstead's jumped Burton, so Hampstead now an effective second.
Wow, that's yeah. I think he must have short filled on that one. He's going to try and need to fuel save to the end.
Hampstead's
yeah,
3 second quicker stop. So Hampstead definitely has gone shorter stop. And Burton, big slide.
Up the inside of Stokes. fresh tyres on that car, and Burton's going to get past here, or is he?
Oh, it was close between McQueen
Very
and Burton.
close.
Now Myers
goes
and Robertson
Myers.
again.
I tell you what, this battling that's going on here, we saw Rizzo was tucked in behind these guys. Rizzo's out in fresh air. Myers and Robinson are stuck behind Scotty McQueen, and McQueen's able to fight. He's able to defend this position because it is for position, albeit McQueen yet to pit. These guys are allowed to fight, and this will help Rizzo. Now these guys are through, but how much of that new tyre advantage have they lost stuck in traffic? It's Burton up the inside of Kyle Stokes.
Burton, he's trying. This is only opening up the gap to Hampstead in front of them. So Burton wants to try and get that move done as soon as possible. Brady Myers closing that gap on, but he's going to be able to get the move done here. Is Stokes going to be able to make it easy for him? Yes, it is. Oh, very close there, not to touch the wall.
Now, Hampstead coming around the corner.
Myers in the wall.
Burton coming down the front straight. Dane Warren is out of the pits. He will hold on to the race lead, but it is a lot closer between the first and second place cars. Warren, Hampstead, 7 seconds. Before the pit stops, Hampstead was about 10 seconds behind our race leader. So Hampstead has gained a lot of time with this undercut. Warren leads. Hampstead second. Burton third. That is your effective race order. Ross Rizzo is the current race leader. And the cars that he's fighting, Brady Myers, Chris Robinson, they're about 25 seconds back up the road. So Rizzo might have enough to jump these guys. You want to be careful though to jump in the pits before he gets held up with some slower traffic, does Rizzo. He's going to continue on for another lap. Come around to start lap 19. Brady Myers still with Chris Robinson behind, and Burton's come right back in to the clutches here. He could get passed by Brady Myers. Burton looks like he's struggling with some damage.
Yeah, he possibly could, but Myers has also got damage, and the interesting thing is Burton's actually got fresher tyres, so this is actually very interesting that Myers and Robinson are actually able to keep up. Well, a bit of a slide there from both Myers and Burton out of the final corner, but yeah, once again, that new tyre advantage doesn't actually seem to be playing that much into this race, which is very interesting because normally we'd usually see the fresher tyres have a
big
huge
slide from
advantage.
Robinson.
Yeah, that was a big moment, and now that you could possibly actually get run here, not quite, but as I was saying, the new tyre not quite having the advantage that it normally would, so very, very interesting to see that, and we'll see how this battle pans out between Myers and Burton.
Burton's now pulled a bit of a gap back again, and Brady Myers comes back under the hunt from Chris Robinson. He's been tucked in behind for a lot of this race. Rizzo and Loxton lead this race, yet to make their pit stop. Steve Jansen in position number 3. Michael Cracknell in 4th. They are all yet to pit. It's Bradley Ratu and Ross Rizzo is in. So Rizzo now in the pits from the race lead, and the safety car is out. So this is the random safety car that we were expecting at some point throughout the race. Drivers didn't know when it would come.
This is actually somewhat played into the hands of Rizzo because he's actually timed it almost perfectly.
Yep.
Yes, he certainly has, and it's also going to play in the hands of Richard Hampstead as well. He seems very fast on track, so yeah, I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on Dane Warren.
Rizzo's now effectively in 3rd. He's jumped Burton, jumped Myers, and jumped Robinson. So Rizzo getting that clear air.
Excellent strategy from...
the overcut looks like it's really strong here.
Yes, certainly does, Jay. And yeah, a bit of luck there played in Rizzo's hands with the safety car coming out at this point. But yeah, very good strategy from that Trick Sim Sports car.
So we're now halfway through this race, round 2 of the LeBlanc Australian Online Supercar Championship. Field slows behind the iRacing Roof safety car. The leader of the race is Brett Loxton. He leads this field, but he is yet to make his stop, as is Michael Cracknell. Those two cars will likely come into the pits under this caution period to eliminate a little bit of time. And what this will do, we said Hampstead needed to save a bit of fuel. Probably won't now. You'll be able to do it all under safety car.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay. It's yeah, Hampstead. He knew that a safety car was to come, so he probably thought about that and kind of banked on that happening. So he's yeah, definitely he's going to be on the limit of fuel, but we have seen in previous events, previous championships, that Hampstead is very good on the fuel savings. So I'm sure he's going to be right on that back of Dame Warren there. Gonna jump on board and see who is trying to fuel save.
So we'll see Loxton come in this time by Cracknell in. So Loxton's actually going to stay out. So he's going to go and push on and try and get as much clear air as he can. He'll have a fair bit of clean track ahead. Dame Warren obviously fairly fresh tyres, so he'll probably move forward fairly quickly. Big thing and the advantage of Dame Warren is he does have a lap car in between, that being Wayne Pendley.
Yeah, I would think Wayne will be getting out of the way as quick as he possibly can. Try and tuck him behind Hampstead. He's got some very fast drivers behind. Brady Myers will be hoping he can regain his speed he had earlier on. We did see him touch the wall a few times, so whether or not that car has some damage is the next question.
The three cars that are all in sync, actually looks like Ross Rizzo is being... No? Thought Burton might have been coming past Ross Rizzo there. There's a
TTL car pulled over to the side.
That's Jake
that
Maloney.
Would be Maloney, yes.
He's just come out of the pits after getting damage fixed from the
Okay,
lap 1
so
shenanigans. So
dropped to the end of line.
Yep. Now, one thing we didn't talk about that I was meaning to talk about at the start of the broadcast tonight is the first round as well for the TTL Driver Academy Challenge, which is open to newer members of iRacing, so members who have joined iRacing since the start of 2016 and have an iRating less of 2,250 by the midway point of this season. Anyone that the top driver that reaches those requirements will get themselves the TTL Driver Academy a prize. At the moment, the leading driver in that would be... I'm not too sure, actually. I'm not sure. I won't make it up.
Yeah, there we go. He's not going to make it up, but yeah, certainly a great package there by TTL Driver Academy. Great little package they've put together to try and improve all the drivers out there on track, and you can get some training from some pretty top-notch drivers that they have for them. Certainly the likes of Josh Rogers, who we all know is an absolute animal in any sim racing car he gets into. He's very competitive in the World Championship Grand Prix Series at the moment, and he's no slug in the V8 Supercar. So between him and Hampstead, they put an excellent package together to help these newer guys get faster.
Yep, and there will be prize up for grabs for the winner of the TTL Driver Academy Challenge. We'll have some points for that throughout the season as the season progresses, but we're about to go green for the third time I should say, second restart. Loxton leads the field up into the final corner. And we are green.
There we go.
Oh,
what
Dame Warren!
Dame Warren's in the wall! Dame Warren in the wall! That's race over for him.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, another car! That is huge. That has changed this entire race. Dane Warren trying to get past the slower car, the lap car there. Not quite sure who that was.
Go back and have a look there, Jay. But oh, he will be absolutely gutted. I tell you what. Wow, that's race changing.
Which is that Thomas Freeman.
Yeah.
Wow. So that changes everything. Richard Hampstead now the effective race leader. Ross Rizzo effective second, and Rizzo with extremely fresh tyres. He pitted at the exact moment the safety car was called and got a big jump.
Yeah,
Rizzo could
like
get a
that.
move done. Here comes Rizzo. Looks strong. Rizzo ready to pounce. Burton under pressure from Brady Myers. Myers' car looks like it's settled a little. Loxton's pulled a bit of a gap, but Loxton still needs to pit. We'll see when he comes in. Hampstead, Rizzo, Burton, Myers and Robinson, the effective top 5. Jacob Knight, great job. He's effective 6th. Griffin Gardner, effective 7th. Hins, Burke and Pickering round out the effective top 10. But it is on for the effective lead because here comes Rizzo tucked right underneath the rear wing of Richard Hampstead.
Yeah, well, as we see Dane Warren in the pit lane now, he will be absolutely gutted. I tell you what, that is championship changing stuff for him.
That's 2 weeks in a row he's had the race win taken away from him in unfortunate circumstances. 2 weeks in a row, he will be heartbroken. Hampstead doing everything he can to fight off from Ross Rizzo, who's been on a charge this entire race.
Yeah, and Hampstead's actually pulled a little bit of a gap as well to Rizzo, which is quite interesting to see. Possibly Hampstead having those slightly cooler tyres has just brought some life back into them, so be very interesting to see what happens in the next couple of laps and whether once they get some heat back into them they'll drop off a little bit more. But Rizzo's doing a fairly good job to actually hold on to Hampstead at the moment and stick with him with those new tyres. It's looking like they're actually catching Loxton as well, which is interesting. So,
you know, Loxton, of course, on 23 lap old tyres, hasn't pitted yet at all. Oh, Brady Myers, big hit in the wall once again coming out of turn 12.
Yeah, and that's allowed Robertson now to now be all over the back of that TTR machine. So we'll see what sort of a run he can get out of turn 2. He's looking very racy. It's going to be not quite a good enough run by the looks of it, but Knight's actually got a good run behind as well. So Knight's going to come into this possibly at some stage.
Yeah, this would be a great effort from Jacob Knight if he can get a move done. So first race out with the Redback Racing Team crew and already currently in 7th, effective 6th, and I think he might have the pace to pass his teammate in Chris Robinson in the next lap or two. He looks very, very quick here. Loxton now under pressure from Hampstead. Hampstead is ready to pounce, ready to potentially take a move, take the spot away before the pit stops happen.
Big slide for Robinson there out of the final corner just then. Now Knight's going to be all over the back end of Robertson as they head in towards turn 1. Oh, Robinson's just clipped the fence as well. Knight's going to try and go around the outside. Robinson's going to have to go defensive as they head down towards turn 3. Who's it going to be? Knight's late on the brakes and Robinson's actually going to let him by. I think Robinson's got some damage as well.
Hampstead through as well. Hampstead's now through on Loxton, and Loxton is going to be the meat in the sandwich here because Rizzo wants to get through. Rizzo with the freshest tyres in the field. Loxton with the oldest tyres in the field. I don't think this will take too long. But what this will do will give Hampstead a tiny little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rizzo's going to try and get by. He's lining up the pass at the next corner, but Loxton's probably not going to give in. Oh, that was very close to an incident happening between Loxton and Rizzo. But now Rizzo's stuck behind Loxton, and this is going to be absolutely murdering Rizzo. And his tyres, big slide from Loxton there. Very lucky to hold on to the rear, but Rizzo's just losing heaps of time. And now this is bringing Byrne back into this. So we've got another three-way battle for the lead once again.
Yeah, I tell you what, guys, this is a great battle where you couldn't pick a winner at this point in the race. I tell you what, before you could have said Dame Warren was very fast, but well, with Dame Warren getting tangled up there on that restart, it's opened up the Loxton in the pit lane. So this is probably not. I didn't think this was a good time for him to jump into the pit lane, but he's obviously the man making the calls. So I guess anything can happen.
So Hampstead, Rizzo, Burton, the top three. Broken a fairly big gap. Jacob Knight under pressure from his teammate as Chris Robinson tries to come back through. Griffin Gardner and Thomas Hinds very, very close as well. Loxton's dropped all the way back. He's going to be outside the top 30 in this race. So Loxton a long, long way back. Henry King under pressure from Brendan Jackson. This is the closest fight on track. These guys pitted the longest time. These guys pitted the earliest in this race. Jackson 15 laps ago. King 13 laps ago. These guys are really going to start to struggle with tyre life. You can see David Kinman closing as well as Wayne Taylor. Taylor trying to get a move done on David Kinman here.
Yeah, it's all going on at the back of at the middle of the pack here with these guys all trying to scrap for the minors. It's all pretty close actually between Kim and those guys, so just keep an eye on this for the most part of the race.
Big shout out to Brian Borg. We've said how poor his qualifying is. He's up to 17th plus 30 positions in this race. He's doing a very, very good job. I'm sure his pace will be improving as this race has progressed. But from where he qualified, if you had told him we would have got a top 20, he would have taken that absolutely every time.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Brian Borg. We've seen him have a lot of pace.
Griffin Gardner's just got 2 spots.
Yeah, there we go.
Griffin Gardner now up into 6th. Hinds back to 7th. Jacob Knight's gone from 5th, now back to 8th.
Oh, he's under pressure.
Under pressure here from Burkett.
Joe Burkett. Burkett looking very racy there. These guys' cars actually great.
Josh Nowak's just found himself into the fence as well. Henry King's slow. Brendan Jackson's around at turn 3. We'll see if we can pick up what happened to Jackson, because we saw him fighting with Henry King. See what's happened there. I think Nowak might be involved in this as well. Oh, Jackson just outbroke himself, went straight ahead at the turn 3 90-degree corner. As we come back live to this fight, this is going to be an intense one over the next few laps. Chris Robinson under pressure from Griffin Gardner. Big, big sideways moment. Robinson, Gardner, Hinds, Knight, Burkett, Pickering. Now Kyle Stokes is in this fight. We've got a 7-car battle for the final spot in the top 5.
And Byrne's actually in pit lane.
Wow. Burton in the pits. I'm wondering if he's got a meatball penalty, because he's got a lot of damage to the front right of that car. This is unscheduled. This would not be what he was intending to do. Comes in and gets his spare car and gets back out on the circuit, but he's going to drop all the way back. Henry King also in. Oh, big shunt coming out of the out of turn 2. Henry King in another car. Benz, yeah. What's happened there?
Looks like Henry King's actually lost it on the exit of turn 2, which is again very easy to do. And Benz has actually had nowhere to go and had to collect Henry King and avoiding action. So big moment there and really unfortunate.
Michael Taliancic also stopped out on the circuit. What's happened to Taliancic? Oh, he's been involved in a big accident with Grant Caines. See if we can pick up what's happened there to Taliancic, but
it's happening all over the place. Wayne Taylor
Burns tried
also
to
putting
go.
the pressure on David Kinman.
we're talking about two before that incident at turn 2. We've seen plenty of cars do that, including the pace car, famously at Belle this year in the IndyCar Grand Prix. So Taliancic just hit the wall at turn 5 by the time he backed it up. And Grant Caines had nowhere to go but into Taliancic's rear. We come back live. Hampstead, Rizzo, they've broken away from the rest of the field. Myers has dropped a long way back. But Chris Robinson, he's starting to pull away from Griffin Gardner, who's got Thomas Hinz tucked right in behind.
Oh, and Hinsey looking up the inside, not quite going to get it done. Now he's going to have Jacob Knight all over the back end of him, but Knight's not going to be able to make a move at these next few corners, so going to be very interesting to see what Hinsey can do on Gardner here, whether he's going to be able to get by the next lap or two.
Burkett also getting involved in this too.
Yeah, this battle is certainly heating up between these guys. It's really on, really, for young and old. They're just, Burkett moment there.
Hinz is the most likely here out of this pack, you would feel. He looks the one that looks the most comfortable in this lead group. Not quite able to get it done in the right spots. It's gotten a big bounce over the curbs that Hinz couldn't capitalise, couldn't get the run. Oh, big understeer through turn number 11. And here comes Hinz through 12. He might get it done
here.
here.
Any closer.
I think Gardner may be starting to struggle with front tyres, I think, at this stage in the race, especially with that amount of understeer he's got at the moment.
Yeah, well, 9 laps to go. These cars are really going to start to feel it. Got currently the track temperature 84 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is quite warm out there.
The conditions, not the most perfect conditions for racing, but the track is fairly cool. Track temps around the 30-degree mark, usually pretty good. So Brian Borg has gained another couple of spots from when we last looked. He's now up into 14th, and he's not too far off getting into the top 10 on his current pace. So we will keep an eye on Borg as we continue throughout this race.
Yeah, tremendous effort there from Brian Borg. P14, got to be happy with that from where he started.
Go back to this fight. Now Hinz looks the one that's vulnerable here, with Jacob Knight tucked right underneath that rear wing.
Yeah, so Loxton and Burton are engaged on track. They're sitting back in P20, P21. So those guys, Loxton made the wrong call on the pit stop, I feel. And we're not too sure what happened to Burton, but potentially a meatball flag, which happens when they have a bit too much damage, causes a safety issue.
Yep, just like real life, you see the race control deem the car unsafe and issue a black flag penalty. As we get on screen, Wayne Taylor, much better exit through 2. David Kidman under a lot of pressure right here.
Yeah, Taylor had a look there up the inside at turn 3, but he didn't quite get it done, so we have to slot back in behind, and now he's got the car of, I believe that is Brian Borg just behind him. So Borgie is on a charge at the moment, moving through the field, and he's looking at possibly taking another 2 positions to get him just outside the top 10.
Yep, really good fight this one. We'll stay with it because the other battle that we were watching, the battle for 5th, 6th and 7th, has settled a little over the last few corners. So this fight here is very racy. Borg looks really quick in comparison to the guys ahead. He was 0.4 of a second quicker last lap around.
Tell you who's doing an excellent job is Griffin Gardner to hold off Thomas Hinds. It's a tremendous effort.
And what's happened in the last couple of laps is Burkett and Pickering and Stokes, they've all dropped off from these three. And even Jacob Knight on this lap has dropped behind, and Hinds is putting a lot of pressure on Griffin Gardner, but not able to get it done. He's just not able to get the run at the right spot. Might this time though.
Battle back here with Thomas McMillan and Brendan Jackson.
Oh, here comes Hinds.
Looking very racy. Oh, Hinds, is he going to be able to do it?
Side by side through three.
Oh, side by side.
Struggled to get the power down.
Struggled to get the power down. So Griffin Gardner holds on to that one for now. He's got another, 7 laps to go to do this. Tremendous pace from Griffin Gardner.
Go back to this battle we were just talking about. Fonte between McMillan, Jackson, Ross and Steve Jansen. Jansen's just lost a spot to Jordan Ross through turn 3, but McMillan trying to fight his way back through the field after being in the fence very, very heavily in the early stages of this race. Oh, and has to defend again. Jackson almost clipped the rear, and McMillan trying to defend again. He's going to go straight ahead though.
Oh, there we go. Oh, it just touches the wall. I think he's got away with not getting any damage, but now he's going to be under pressure from Burton.
Yeah, Burton's closing up at a pretty considerable rate, but we're going to go back to Griffin Gardner and Thomas Hinds because have a look at how close these guys are again. Gardner's doing a great job of just holding Hinds off, isn't he?
Excellent job. He is doing an excellent job. I haven't seen this consistency out of Griffin Gardner before, so no, wonderful job there by him to hold off Thomas Hinds, who is a very experienced sim racer. Here he goes, he's going to pop it. I think he's going to be able to get it done this time, though.
If he can get the power down.
Or is he? Yeah, no, he's got
it.
He's got the lead. He has done it. He's got the lead into the next turn, so well done there on Hinds. And great driving between those guys. To keep it so clean on a circuit like this is a marvellous effort.
Yep, 100%. Jacob Knight's done a great job as well in moving his way forward throughout this race. Was qualified in a very, very good spot, position number 8.
Wayne Taylor's in the fence as well.
No. See if we can work out what's happened to Wayne Taylor, because he was fighting just outside the top 10, around the top 15 mark with David Kinman.
He's actually lost it on the grass when Jason Bentz is actually,
Oh.
Brian has passed him, and he's ended up spinning it around and it's straight into the fence.
Oh, wow. Heavy, heavy hit too, and lucky to not come back and hit Bentz. Did a good job to get the car out of the way and not cause anyone else any grief.
We go, what's happened to Burton? Something's happened to Burton. He's dropped back. I think he's touched the wall.
He's loosened ground very, very quickly.
I'm going to go back and have a
Oh,
look,
he's
see what
actually
happened
looped
there.
it. He's looped it coming out
Looped
at turn 6.
Now he's under pressure from Gary Cooper.
So he just tagged onto the back and got past McMillan, was about to pass Steve Jansen. And as he's put his foot on the power, it's just looped him around. So Burton was trying to work his way back through the field. He's now going to have to do it all over again. Finds himself back in 23rd position and back in the pits once more. Griffin Gardner's just lost 2 spots as well. Everything's starting to go off in this latter stages of this race. We'll see if we can pick up the pass for Hinds and Knight on Griffin Gardner. Hinds actually got the move done at turn 6, and then at turn 7 Gardner just too heavy on the brake pedal, locked the rears. Did a good job to avoid the fence though.
Yeah, he did a very, very good job to actually keep it out of the fence and make sure that he didn't get any more damage. So see what happens in these later part of the races and what he can do, but yeah, really unfortunate about that spin.
Hampstead's now got the lead out to 3 seconds over Ross Rizzo. So Rizzo has not been able to use those new tyres to his advantage. Brady Myers in 3rd, and Chris Robinson tucked right in underneath that rear wing. Robinson is on a charge. Robinson is moving his way forward.
Yeah, he's coming through the field. He's trying to see if he can try and get past Brady Myers, but he just doesn't quite have that pace at the moment. So he's only got 4 laps to try and get by as well. So he's running out of time, but I'm sure he's going to be able to get by at some stage if Brady does make a mistake.
Too much curb though for Robinson there. He almost looped it around at turn 3. Did a great job to hold on as we've just got Steve Jansen going through on Brendan Jackson. And Thomas Hinds now with Jacob Knight. Griffin Gardner's dropped a long way back now that he's been passed, but the rest of these guys in this lead pack, we've got 2x2 battles going on everywhere.
Yeah, closest battle we have on track at the moment, Jacob Knight and Thomas Hinds.
Yep.
And then also Benjamin Smith and Brad Hay.
So these guys fighting for 24th and 25th, and I wouldn't be surprised if Smith gets through here in the next couple of corners. Brad doing a very, very good job. Oh, throws it up the inside to Smith, but had to use too much curb. He's not going to get it done. Hagel have the run into turn 6, but Smith can get a great exit out of 6. This huge long run into 7 with the braking zone with the kink in it. Very, very tough. And have a look at the commitment from Smith. Somehow pulled that up. I don't know how he did though.
No, that was a very, very good move. He did very well. Oh, big sideways moment there.
Here comes Robinson.
Of the corner. But here comes Robinson on Myers.
Oh, don't know how they didn't make contact there coming through turn 3. Robinson doing a great job of applying pressure. Brady Myers doing a fantastic job of not giving in. As we've got Brett Loxton around facing the wrong direction. That is at turn 11. Managed to get going again. Hasn't lost too much ground. Lost a couple of spots.
Here we go again. It's on for 3rd position, and Robinson side by side with Myers, almost in the fence. Robinson just about losing it under brakes again. So it's all on. He's trying everything. He's throwing everything and the kitchen sink at it to try and get past and onto the podium.
Thomas Hinds is closing on these guys as well. Last lap was half a second quicker than Brady. This battle for the lead, oh sorry, for the podium is not over. Myers, Robinson, Hinds, Knight, and even Griffin Gardner, all in contention to steal a podium here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all going off in these last few laps. It's going to be interesting to see who finishes where and ends up where. So we'll see what happens and keep an eye out because it's all going off.
What a fight. We've got 3 laps to go. Hampstead now out to a 4-second lead over Ross Rizzo. Thought Rizzo might have been able to close on Hampstead, but hasn't been able to use that fresh tyre advantage. But this fight for 3rd is on. Myers defending aggressively.
Oh, Robinson's run wide.
On Hinds through. Knight's going to get him too, is he? No, not quite. So Robinson gone from 4th back to 5th, and we'll see if Hinds can close and pass Brady Myers. Last lap, 1.8 seconds quicker, Hinds over Myers.
Yeah, it's a big difference to have, especially in these V8 supercars. It's a big advantage to have, and any sort of advantage, especially if it's over a second, you're going to take and use it to your advantage the best you can. So we'll see how this goes, but Myers' tyres are looking very, very tired, and I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on for these last few laps, but he's going to try his best to do so.
Yep, Brady's going to have to defend with all that he has got. Chris Robinson doesn't want to have 5th. He wants to get up into 3rd. 2 and a bit laps to go. 2 laps and 2 corners. Hinds trying to get this move done on Brady Myers. Big slide from Jacob Knight. They'll cross the line with 2 to go. Hinds with a great run. Myers is going to have to defend. Oh, that was close into turn 1.
Well, now Hinds will set up the run out of turn 2. Is it going to be good enough? It's looking like it's pretty good. Myers is going to stay on the inside to defend. And Hinds is going to have to go around the long way around the outside. Is he going to brake late enough and get the job done? Not quite, but Robinson's now coming back into this. He's up the inside, but he's not going to be able to get by Hinds. So now we've got 5 cars, and Gardner's actually back in this, so it's all going off for the final spot on the podium. It could be anyone.
What a fight this is for the last spot on the podium. There are 6 cars in the same shot, all fighting for 3rd position. Griffin Gardner, big moment, just clipped the wall. He's lost a lot of momentum, will come under pressure from Joe Burkett, but here comes Hinz. Chris Robinson's looking to take advantage of this too because he's trying to get through as well. Big moment though for Brady Myers under brake, somehow pulled it up. What a fight.
And it'll be white flag next time by, I believe.
Yep. This will be the
They've
last
only
lap.
got one more lap to try and get it done, and it's going to be all on. They'll be throwing everything at it.
What a fight this has been throughout this race for the podium positions. The podium positions have changed so much in this race. We thought that Burton and Warren would have had it sealed. Those two locked into the first 2 positions. Neither of them are going to finish on the podium. This is the last lap. This is it. This is the last 3 kilometres of Belle for this round. Can Myers hold on? Hinz has passed, but is he able to get it done? Big slide under brakes.
Oh, side by side. He's on the grass as well. He's going to struggle to get the power down, but he'll slot him behind.
Going to get great momentum though, and almost contact.
Now Burkett is in this, so it's an absolute... I don't even know what to say. It's just crazy.
What a fight. We've got 6 cars separated by 1.3 seconds at the moment. Myers, Hinz, Robinson, Knight, Gardner and Burkett all fighting for a podium. Big moment. Here comes Burkett with a dive bomb. And he's going to get the move on Griffin Gardner. No, they're still side by side. Here comes Robinson.
Not quite.
And here comes Knight, going to go through on Robinson. Not quite able to.
Say what 1 and 10's battle, guys.
Back at the front though, Richard Hampstead, big drift through the final corner. Congratulations, Richard, on picking up his first win for Redback Racing Team. Ross Rizzo will cross the line in second, but Brady Myers might just be able to hold on here. I think he is.
Yeah, it's looking like it's...
What a drive. Well done, Brady. Hinz will finish 4th. He'll be stoked with that. Robinson will finish 5th. Jacob Knight, great job to finish 6th. Griffin Gardner will probably be disappointed with 7th, but that's a great result. And Burkett in 8th. Well done, guys. That is a great fight. Another fight that is still on. Brian Borg is under pressure from Jordan Ross coming into the final corner, not able to do it. Borg, 47th to 13th in this race.
Wow,
that's impressive.
Got a car out of fuel on the circuit as well. We've got the 10 car of James Duckworth limping it back to the finish line, but I don't believe he's going to make it home.
Oh, McMillan's struggling to get it to the line. Just makes it after clipping the wall on the final corner.
So McMillan finishes in 19th position. But congratulations to Redback Racing Team and Richard Hampstead jumping in with those that team for this championship. Round 1, last race at Imola, did not go to plan for that team at all. They had an absolute horrible night. Big amount of redemption for those guys with this race tonight. Wow, what a night. Despite all the technical issues we were having, the end of the race made up for it well and truly. We'll run through the race results. Richard Hampstead ends up winning by nearly 7 seconds over Ross Rizzo. But that fight for 3rd position between Myers, Hinz, Robinson, Knight, Gardner and Burkett, that was incredible to watch. Well done, guys. Warren Pickering finishes in 9th and Kyle Stokes rounds out the top 10. th position is Josh Nowak, then 12th, David Kidman. Brian Borg, as we said, what a drive from him to finish in 13th position. Jordan Ross in 14th position. We've got Steve Jansen in 15th, with Reese Keane finishing in 16th position. Brendan Jackson in 17th, Scotty McQueen in 18th. McMillan makes it home in 19th position over Matt Leopardivan. In 20th, then we've got Benjamin Smith, Gary Cooper, Brett Loxton, Brad Hugh, James Duckworth does make it home just in the end in 25th position. Then we go to our lap down drivers of Bentz, Hearn, McKnight 2 laps down with Henry King. 3 laps down, Wayne Taylor we saw involved in some issues late in the race. Peter Sadler and Craig Jones for CMR team also 3 laps down in 31st and 32nd. Then we've got Grant Cairns, Jake Burton both 4 laps down. Didn't finish the race. Greg Sharp, Paul Preston, Daniel Williams, Michael Taliancic, Wayne Pendley, Christian Smart, Michael Cracknell, and then Dane Warren. Unfortunate end to his race. Scott O'Keefe, Thomas Freeman, Bradley Ratu, Matt Morris, Brett Gerardis, Matthew Clote, Mitchell Ciolak, Shane Evans, Jake Maloney, Jaden Borg, Jake Blackhall, Scott Clark, Sean Thompson, Mitchell Bales and Zach Best. Only half the field finished the race, but the half of the field that did had an incredible fight the whole way through. What a race that was. What an incredible night of racing.
Jay. Yeah, it was an incredible night of racing. It certainly turned it on here at Belle Isle. We weren't too sure how it would go, but yeah, the race was great, and what a great result for Richard Hampstead. He would be one of the ones to watch out for, and well, he's come away and taken it. He's absolutely gutted there for Dame Warren. Second round in a row that it's been stolen from him. I'm sure he'll come back third time lucky in round 3 and definitely be right up the front of the field there.
We are joined in the booth though by Richard Hampstead. Congratulations, Richard. Didn't go to plan at the start, but once you found yourself in a bit of clean air, you just broke away from the rest of the field. Well done.
Yeah, cheers guys. Yeah, the immediate start went really well. I had a lot of pace off the line, but nowhere to go. Then I think I lost the rear a bit and hit Jordan, tried to straighten him up a bit, and we both just about got through there alive. But yeah, then from then on, I was chasing down Brady. It's so hard to follow around here. Like it's it's so much different to a normal track, and it's a lot more intimidating to try to send it on someone when there's a big concrete wall on the other side of them too. So yeah, pretty hard, but I got pretty lucky there, I think, with whatever happened to Dane. I didn't really see, but I just saw him limping after that restart. So shame for him because he had pace over everyone tonight. So I'm sure he would have walked it if not for that. But really happy for myself and for RRT. Big thanks to them for giving me the opportunity to race in this series for them. And yeah, pretty happy with the night.
We go on next round in 2 weeks' time to Daytona, another relatively unknown for this series and this car and this style of racing. Are you looking forward to that one?
Yeah, that's definitely a different one. I'm trying to think if all the years we've been doing this, have we ever done a V8 race at Daytona?
I don't remember.
Or...
I don't think we ever have. I think there's been an unofficial one at the start of this series last season. But other than that, there's been nothing in the V8 at Daytona.
Yeah, exactly. So it's gonna be pretty hectic with all the slipstreaming through the oval section. So it's gonna be a good one to watch.
Well, we look forward to seeing you out on track in 2 weeks' time, and we better let you thank who you need to thank.
All right. So thanks to you guys, obviously, for the broadcast. Thanks to everyone putting the series together, and obviously to Redback Racing Team. Yeah, for like I said, giving me the chance to race with them in this series.
Congratulations, Rich, and we'll talk to you again in 2 weeks' time.
All right, hopefully. See you there.
Well done, mate. Congratulations. We'll go next to Ross Rizzo. Ross, congratulations on P2. I'm pretty sure if we said at the start of the night you'd finish P2, you would have been absolutely shocked by that. But congratulations. Well done.
Thanks very much, but I think it's more a testament to how lucky I can get sometimes with this car. That safety car timing was perfect. I mean, I just hit the pit limiter and the safety car came out. I could not believe my luck.
It's turned into a pit. If I can actually speak English. Jeez, I can't even say that.
It is late.
It is. It turned into a pretty eventful race, but as you said, you sort of managed your way through it. Was the aim just to sort of tiptoe your way and see where you ended up come pit stop time?
More or less. I always intended to short fill, not by as much as I eventually did, but I knew there was going to be another safety car per the rules that were posted on the Facebook page. So I was like, I'll potentially take a few less leaders, but turned out to be one or two too much. And yeah, that was the scary part. But ultimately, it was just to survive. I haven't finished a race here, so that's why I just wanted to get to the finish here.
Now at the restart there, we saw you did have a lap car in between you and Richard, but you just weren't able to match him for pace. A little bit of trouble getting the tyres up to temp, or what was the deal with not being able to match him for pace?
I just generally had nothing for him. Richard, we know how good Richard is in these things, and I'm barely coming to grips with these things myself. So I knew he'd pull away, and ultimately I would need to save some fuel. I was actually more concerned with Jake behind me because I knew he had really good pace, and we know that he likes to get the elbows out and stuff to make passes. And I probably wasn't actually going to fight him, but yeah, I was more worried about holding second place.
You lead the championship going into the third race at Daytona in 2 weeks' time. You're looking forward to that one?
Oh, that's going to be an amazing combo. Just have to wait. But the Slipstream Fest is going to be like Watkins Glen and whatnot. So, man, yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, neither can we. We better let you thank who you need to thank.
Well, first of all, congratulations to Richard and Redback Racing. It's great to see the title sponsors getting a result like that. So congratulations to LeBLANC as well, and the AOSC on a fantastic race tonight. So Trick Sim Sports, Trick Fabrications, HRS, HPP Simulations, and also huge commiserations to Brett. I mean, he was a few seconds away from a good result if he was able to get into the pit lane as well. So commiserations to you, Brett Loxton. But yeah, better luck next time, mate. And thanks to V8's Online for the broadcast.
Congratulations, Ross, on position 2 and a championship lead going into our first break of the season. Well done, mate.
Thanks very much. That's wild.
2 championships you've been in the front of. Yeah, how's that happen? How's that work?
I wish I could tell you. We'll call it luck for now because that's generally how I got there tonight.
Oh, congratulations, mate. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks' time. We'll go next to Brady Myers in position 3. Brady, what a fight that was at the end to hold off those guys coming through. We thought that firstly Chris and then Hinsey was going to get you, but you just somehow managed to fend them off. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. My arms are sore, man. Like that car was just, I was battling for the good 15 laps.
The pace that you had probably wasn't representative of getting a P3. Was it just a matter of being quick in the right spots and managing that pace that you had at the right moments?
Yeah, I think so. Like on the start, we capitalized on some people's mishaps and just sort of tried to keep play with a straight bat sort of thing. And yeah.
First good result for yourself with your new team at TTL Esports. Been a long time coming though for you to finish up in these pointy positions. Good to get that momentum going forward in this series.
Yeah, exactly. I've had a few times where I've been in a good spot and just had it, taken off me. So it was nice to finally get one in the books.
Well, congratulations on a great result tonight. P3 in a very, very stacked field. We better let you thank who you need to thank.
No worries. Just big thanks to TTL boys there. The Hype Stimulator, Down Under Graphics, Asher Racing, TTL Driver Academy, and yeah, that's it.
Congratulations, Brady, on a position 3, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks' time when we go to Daytona.
No worries. Look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Brady Myers in position 3. We'll go next to our 4th place finisher. This will be a fun interview. Thomas Hinds, congratulations on P4. Considering you haven't been in the car, P4, I'm pretty sure you're over the moon right now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's the same as last week. Same thing, as I said, obviously other commitments and life commitments and work commitments and stuff have come up in the last month. So I'm pretty much barely racing. I can count on one hand how many races I've done this month, which for me is just unheard of. Yeah. I just came in tonight again as like last week. I'll have a good time if I survive being Belle. And yeah, I didn't really start too well, obviously, at that instant start. So it got me pretty heavy damage. So I was sort of struggling around. First half just trying to not die, basically, and wait for the caution. Obviously, your pitted just before it, got repaired and got going, and and yeah, and was it was fun trying to pick the way through, but managed to work out and got to fourth, and then had a very very intense battle there at the end, nearly on the podium. So as you say, I'm chuffed because I definitely wasn't seeing a fourth coming in, and especially when I popped in that lap in quali. I was a bit shocked. I was like, geez, where's this pace come from? I was sitting there thinking, I don't think I'll ever be within, half a second of Dane again. So probably should take a screenshot of it.
Now, that fight you did have with Brady at the end there, were you worried about potentially leaving the door open for Chris once you got in front of him? Were you worried about trying to make a move and maybe giving up a spot, or was that something that didn't really come into your mind?
Yeah, I guess I was actually thinking, about the last, probably the 2 laps to go when it really got close there. I was looking at Chris eyeing us up, waiting, trying to tee up a drive. And I thought, well, last lap I was like, I'll be happy with the top 5, whether it's 4th or 5th or whatever. I mean, geez, even 6th or 7th I would have been happy with. So I was like, if I lose a spot here trying to get a podium, I'm not too chuffed, or not too bothered. So yeah, it did cross my mind, and I was kind of ready. I was ready that if he went for it and got it done, I would have just been like, yep, fair enough. So yeah, it definitely crossed my mind, but thankfully it didn't happen. But no, it was suitably intense, I suppose, for Belle there at the end.
Yeah, well, congratulations, mate. We better let you thank who you need to thank.
Yep, no worries. Been a while, so I'll try and get this right. So thanks to Cash-Centric and Rat Corp, obviously, main 2 sponsors. If they continue to support SRC, Jay would know about that, for having the logo on the car. Thanks there, Jay. And I think that's most of it. So yeah, and obviously big thanks to the team as always. Just awesome fun, and awesome to race with and everything. And big thanks to the guys at AOSC for putting on another fantastic show. So and big thanks to you guys for the top quality broadcast as always.
Oh, congratulations, Hinsey, on a great drive to finish 4th, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Thank you very much. See ya.
We'll go next to our 5th place finisher, Chris Robinson. Congratulations, Chris, on a P5. It was hard fought. That battle you had with Brady, that was intense.
Yeah, mate, just couldn't get by him. He had a very wide car tonight, but good on him.
The fight you had there with Brady, when you nearly got the move done, were you thinking that you might open the door for cars behind, or were you just going for it and seeing if you could get a move done?
It's for the podium, mate, so I just did what I could. And in all honesty, I didn't see the guys behind even catching me. So it was a bit of a surprise to see them go up the inside.
It's been a long time coming for you to. We've seen you make your way through the field and move your way forward. We saw the great qualifying and pre-qualifying efforts at Laguna Seca and the V8 Scots. We saw. We've seen you evolve and move your way forward. I'm guessing a podium is not that far away. At least you're hoping so.
Yeah, I thought we were on tonight, but hopefully it comes sooner rather than later. A lot of efforts going in to try and move up the field, so we'll see what happens.
Got 2 weeks' time, we head to Daytona. I'm sure you'll be looking forward to that one. An endurance race, a little bit more suited to the Redback Racing Team style.
Yeah, I haven't actually turned a lap there ever, so we'll see what happens there.
I'm sure you're not alone in that, not turning laps at Daytona in the V8 Supercar, but we better let you thank who you need to thank before we let you go.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. Big thanks to LeBLANC. Put a heap of resources into this team to make it is what it is at the moment. Inn Design, Bow Repairs, Mackay, and definitely the TTL Driver Academy giving us a hand, the whole team, and clearly it's working. So, cheers.
Congratulations, Chris, on a great effort to finish in P5, and we'll no doubt talk to you in a couple of weeks' time.
Thanks, lad. Thanks for the broadcast, eh?
So Chris Robinson will go next. We'll get a couple more interviews in because these guys have fought hard. That was an awesome fight. We go next to Jacob Knight. Congratulations on a P6. First drive out in the new team and already paying dividends. Well done, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Yeah, pretty good race. I had a very good battle there with my teammate, actually. Yeah, the team's doing me well. I enjoy the setups. I enjoy everyone's company. I enjoy their strategy.
That coming from a very, very small team into a pretty big team environment must be a little bit of a shock to the system, but one that's obviously paying dividends for you.
Yeah, it was. Well, obviously from my old team, it was our own team, so we were used to doing our own thing, and then I've come to Redback and everything's so professional. Now,
2 weeks' time, we head to Daytona, a track that you're looking forward to, or you're not too sure on at this stage?
No, we did a earlier before last season for AOSC. We did a test run there, and at night time, it's an amazing track.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it as well. So, better let you thank who you need to thank.
Yep, I'd like to thank LeBLANC, TTL Driver Academy, GDH iRacing Images, and Internet Technologies. Yeah, I said them all.
Congratulations, mate. Well done on a P6. First drive out in the new team. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Cheers.
And we'll get our last interview in for the night. Griffin Gardner, congratulations. Great drive, P7. Probably not where you would have wanted to be, considering where you were at one point. But if we said at the start that you finished P7 in this field, I'm sure you'd be over the moon with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked with that. I hopped into Pro Qual without any laps since Belle came out, and just ran what I ran at Scops a few weeks ago, and stuck it in about 6th or something, 10th in qualifying, and I was really happy with that. And then the race was pretty exciting. You know, I really struggled with tyres, and I think that showed near the end. I was really falling off the back, and Hinsey got through, and Jacob got through, and at that point I was just trying to hold off Joe.
That fight in the last few laps, that was pretty intense, but that fight you had with Joe in the last couple of laps, talk us through what was going through your mind and how you were trying to defend that spot.
I pretty much just, as soon as I got past Jacob, I just thought in my head, I got to stay in front of Joe. I got to salvage a P7 at least. And as Brady and Chris obviously had an awesome battle towards the end, I was just hoping that they didn't get backed up, because I knew if they did that Joe was going to be right on me. And I made a mistake coming out of the last corner onto the last lap, and Joe was right on me. I just defended, and we went side by side, and obviously Joe made a move. I just tried to hold around the outside and then blocked for that hairpin, and all worked out.
Well, congratulations on a P7. Next round we head to Daytona. Are you hoping to be out on the track?
Yeah, hopefully I can get something arranged as an enduro partner. Obviously, like running as a privateer for a few weeks now, trying to find a team, and hopefully I can get something sorted by Daytona.
Well, congratulations on a P7 tonight. Well done on a great drive and a great fight at the latter stages of that race. Well done.
Cheers.
Fonty, Cam, what a night it's been. It's been an incredible race, and looking forward to the next one.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what, Jay, that was absolutely tremendous. I absolutely loved that event. Really surprised me of how well it went. We saw a lot of controversy, a lot of accidents, and yeah, I can't wait till we go to the next round at Daytona. It's an endurance event again, so the teams will get back together, and I'm sure we're going to see what we saw in round one at Imola, but only in the famous Daytona racetrack.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic race in 2 weeks' time. Cam, what are your thoughts going forward into the next round at Daytona?
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. I have a funny feeling it's probably going to be very similar to what we'd normally see at Monza. Obviously, you've got the tri-oval and NASCAR 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, plus the bus stop halfway down the back straight, and the infield. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what teams do as far as setup goes, whether they set the car up for the infield or whether they set it up mainly for the straight line speed on the oval. So we'll see what happens, and it's bound to be actually a very, very interesting race, especially with the fact that Daytona has never really been run in the V8.
Yep, been no official races in the V8. We'll obviously have 2 races there. Broadcast here on V8's Online in 2 weeks' time, but our next broadcast will be Sunday here on V8's Online. We bring you round number 4, season 2 of the Oceanic Endurance Championship, supported by West End Mazda. Monday night we have the iRacing V8 Supercars. We come back here to Belle Isle once again and have another amazing race. Hopefully we'll see another amazing race. Anyway, Tuesday night we will have the Australian 410 Sprint Car Championship round 4. Cam, I know you'll be out on track for that one. I'm looking forward to it. Wednesday night we will have action from the Geodesic Racing Sprint Series Australasia, and next weekend V8 Scops heads to Interlagos. The first time ever we have a reverse grid race in that championship. The next race in this series, though, 2 weeks from tonight, Friday, 2 weeks from tonight, we will have coverage of the Daytona 650. Fonty, thank you. Cam, thank you for jumping in tonight. It's been loads and loads of fun.
Yeah, no problem at all. Sorry, Cam. Yeah, no, it's been a great event. Absolutely loved it, and I can't wait to see the next round. And obviously, the next round of V8 Scops just next weekend, just around the corner. So make sure you jump on the v8scops.com website, check out what that's all about, and we'll see you there.
On behalf of everyone here at V8 Online and also the admin team behind the scenes at the Australian Online Supercar Championship, thanks again to LeBlanc and West End Mazda for their support, as well as TTL Driver Academy and Hazard Media. On behalf of the whole V8 Online team, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.